QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.
Yo, what's cracking, Panther Nation? It's your boy Rashad, man. Listen, I wasn't gonna go live, but I had to because I want to give y'all a little preview of what it's gonna look like next Tuesday when it goes down. We got all the free aid or the cuts going down. So I was like, let me give it a quick dry run to let y'all know what it's gonna look like. So if y'all don't know, or if you haven't heard the news, we have traded Michael Barrett, who was our 7th-round draft pick linebacker out of Michigan, to Seattle in exchange for Michael Jackson. And no, not Michael Jackson, the singer, but Michael Jackson, the cornerback. Now, this is very interesting. Very, very interesting here because I want to break this down. This is a great question. Is it worth it? I want to go through all of this stuff, right? This makes sense, and I want to analyze this because we all know how our cornerback room looks. Now, before we get into all that, man, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, get in the comments, all that stuff. We want to get 25,000 subscribers. That's part of the reason why I'm doing the marathon. Run these subs up, man. Like somebody said, I think Mike Rick said in the chat, y'all don't miss. I don't miss. There's nothing that I miss. Okay. If I'm able to go live, we're going to go live when it goes down. So I got a couple minutes. I did want to quickly go live. I was live earlier today with the Rob Brown Show. I wanted to get it in so we can break this down and give a quick preview of what it's going to look like on Tuesday when we break everything down, all the cuts, check the waiver wire, all that stuff. So again, wanted to break it down. So shout out to RJ. Michael Jackson, 6'1", 210 pounds, 27 years old, 77 PFF grade, 76 coverage, 71 run defense. And RJ, you spoiled it. But this is a great super chat because this is exactly the first place I went was the PFF. I had to see what it looked like. And his PFF scores look pretty darn good in comparison to the other guys, the veteran guys that we were looking at. And we were name chasing, Xavier Howard, all those cornerbacks out there, they were like in the 50s. So we were name chasing, right? And so now you bring in a guy like Michael Jackson who has proven, again, people may not like PFF and they may not like the scoring, but what it does do is it gives you a comparison. There's no other tool like that that's going to allow you to compare players on an even scale, right? They're all being graded the same way. Whether you like the grading methodology or not, all these players are being graded the same way. So there's no other platform out there that's going to do that other than the eye test. And everybody's eye test is subjective. So this is why I like PFF to use it as a starting point. Of course, we'll go back and watch some games, watch some film, and look at how he does. But the initial thing, the only place you can go to for a quick comparison is PFF, right? And so that's where you got to go check. You just quickly check PFF and see what it's like. But again, I caught myself name chasing. All right. And that's why I went through the exercise on Tuesday to say, hey, these are the guys that are out there. Xavier Howard, there's a reason why they're still out there. Name chasing. Grades weren't that great. Go to PFF. You check the comparison. They look good. All right. I see what y'all doing. The other guys need to beat it. I see what y'all doing. I see what y'all are doing. I see what. Let's keep it coming. Pause. All right. Just got word that he was hit by a smooth criminal. Okay. I see what we doing. Let the Michael Jackson jokes fly. I get it. Okay. All right. So a couple more quick notes on Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, again, like RJ said, with the beautiful super chat, says 6'1", 210, started 21 career games, right? Has an interception, 2 fumble recoveries, right? And we talked about Dane Jackson, who was, again, injured 6 weeks, going to be gone for a while. And we also lost Lamar Jackson. So we needed to get some depth in here. We needed to get, hopefully, potentially a starter. Okay. So we need that. Okay. And so here's an interesting connection, right? Shout out to Panthers.com. They wrote this article. Interesting connection. Barrett was our 7th-round pick. All right. So Seahawks special teams coordinator, their special teams coordinator is Jay Harbaugh, who was at Michigan last year. So again, Jay Harbaugh knows Michael Barrett. They needed to get a guy for special teams. This was a wonderful move by the Carolina Panthers. You're unlikely to keep Michael Barrett. When we did that roster, took a look at the roster yesterday on Tuesday, we saw that it's going to be tough it's going to be slim pickings for Michael Barrett. We don't know that he's going to make the roster. He's on the back end of potentially making the roster. So why not go ahead and flip this dude for a starting caliber cornerback now and get some help when you know this man is not going to be a part of the long-term future? This is what I be talking about. This is the smart moves that I be talking about from Dan Morgan. If you know this man not going to make the roster, let's see if we can flip him. Let's call up, hey, Jay Harbaugh over there. He know Michael Barrett. He know he's gonna be a good special teamer. Probably gonna make the 53. Let's go see what he got. Let's go see what cornerbacks they got. All right, bet. Yeah, we got Michael Jackson, man. He all right, but we kind of rich at cornerback. We don't need a cornerback. So all right, let's make this happen. This was a good, solid move, and even if it doesn't work out, at least you tried, right? This guy has some solid play. You go back and look at his PFF scores. I'll pull it up. Let's go ahead and pull it up because there's something else I want to pull up too. But I do want to share the PFF scores. I know everybody's not a PFF subscriber, so I'll go ahead and pull it up so that you all can see it in depth. And kind of we'll go through this. And this is just a little sneak peek of what we're gonna do on next Tuesday. Every guy that gets cut and that's solid, and we look like we may want to use a waiver wire pick on that guy. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if he's worth bringing in or not. This is some of the same exercises that the Panthers go through. So really quick, let's go ahead and do this. All right. Let's go ahead and get this thing going here. Let me switch my background real quick. I really need to get my stream deck going so I can do this automatically, but it's on the way. It's on the way. Everybody bear with me. All right. So here's what we got. This is Michael Jackson's PFF grades. Okay. Again, 6'1", 210, former Miami Hurricane, drafted by Dallas Cowboys in the 5th round. Okay. 77 overall grade, which is he's good. If you were to compare him to all of our current starters or our current players, he'd be right there at the top as far as grades go. 71 run defense, 71 and a half run defense, 76 coverage grade. Solid work. Okay, 30 tackles. What I want to look at is the snaps, right? How many total snaps is he playing? 191, 279 coverage snaps. So I want to look at the sample size, right? Is this because if it's based on a small sample size, then the grades can be kind of high, right? The grades will be high if you only played 2 snaps, right? And so what I'm seeing is the sample size isn't too crazy, but he did play 474 snaps last year. 474 snaps. That's not a ton, but it's not a bunch either, right? It's like he was a rotational guy and he came in to play when somebody went down. That's the vibes I'm getting. But when he got in there, he seemed like he was playing pretty well. In the play, look at this in the Carolina game. Again, obviously, we ain't had too many daggone receivers, but when we played Seattle, you know what I mean? When we played Seattle, my man had a 67.8 grade total grade against us. He had a 68 coverage grade. Obviously, our receivers weren't great. And I think Dalton played that game, if I'm not mistaken. But solid game. Then he follows it up with another 63 snaps against the Giants. Again, Daniel Jones kind of missed. So I see that. 8 snaps, 2 snaps. So these games right here, I'm ignoring these. I'm looking for the games where he played a lot of snaps. 40 snaps here, 75 grade, 50 snaps against Philly. 88 grade. He had a damn good game against Philly. That's the kind of game I'm looking at. That's the kind of game I'm looking at. Okay. That's a solid game. 43 snaps against the Tennessee Titans. Some solid grades here. Solid grades here. This is not bad. This is not bad. Again, he had his best year. He played 1,000 snaps the year prior, a 60 grade. That's not terrible. That's a lot of snaps though. A lot of snaps in 2022. That's a lot. 1,000. When you get above 1,000 snaps, that's full-time starter. You're starting. So I'm not sure if he was injured or I'm not sure Seattle's situation. I got to do more research on what they're, let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and again, this is live. We're going over this live. So just bear with me. Let's do by team. Let's do Seattle. And then we'll do defense. Right. So we'll go back. Okay, this is 2023 regular season. And what I'm looking for is defensive snaps. I'm looking at cornerbacks, right? So we're looking at the cornerbacks. Okay, so Tariq Woolen, obviously, shout out to Tariq Woolen, Trey Brown. Those are probably going to be your starting guys. and then you got Michael Jackson coming in rotation and playing pretty solid football. So again, not terrible rotational guy. This is not bad. This is again. Let's go back to 2022 because he had a lot of snaps then. Let's go look at what the corner's doing. Yeah, he played a lot of snaps a ton of snaps in 2022. 1,000 snaps played, the second most snaps. Tariq Woolen played more, but a lot of snaps here. Seattle, what was going on with Seattle's cornerbacks last year? Jeez. Go back to 2023. He did play in 15 games, so he didn't play in 2 games. So that kind of makes a little bit of sense there. But it's very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Oh, the Witherspoon. Sorry, I didn't see Witherspoon. I didn't see Witherspoon down here. So Witherspoon 883. Tariq Woolen. So CB1, CB2. Yeah, so he was the fourth guy. Correct. Thank you for checking that out. I didn't see Witherspoon. My bad. Thank you, Cash. I wasn't looking at the chat. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I didn't see Witherspoon down there. But yeah, so rotational guy last year. Again, not bad. When he played, he was solid. Even in the games where he played against, like the Eagles. Again, that's a tough matchup. Played 50-something snaps in that game. He had a solid game. So some potential here. And for a team that's looking for some depth, hopefully you get Dane Jackson back. But if not, this guy can slide in and play. He's capable of playing a full season. We've seen it. So this is what we needed. Again, and I don't want to say got rid of a guy, but you traded away a guy that you knew wasn't making the roster. I got news for y'all. Michael Barrett, as a 7th-round pick, was not making this roster. So you traded him away and brought in, at worst, a rotational cornerback when Dane Jackson gets healthy. So I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. So this is cool that we got the grades. The next thing we got to look at is the contract. Because, again, when you trade for a player, you assume their contract, right? And so we got to analyze that too. So I got that up. Let's see if we can pull that up here in Spot Track. So here's what the Spot Track contract looks like. 1-year deal. He's on a 1-year deal from Seattle. So that makes sense for Seattle too. This kid not going to be a part of our long-term plan. Let's go ahead and flip him, and we're going to get a good special teams player for the future. So you see how that works out as a win-win for both players. So Seahawks fan says he had a super high grade. Who had super high offensive grade in the past preseason game. So I got to go back and check that out. Shout out to Seahawks fan. Shout out to Seahawks fans. A lot of Seahawks fans wanted Barrett in the draft. Yeah, so it makes sense. It makes sense for both sides of it. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for both sides. Now here's the contract part of it. Contract piece of it is base salary, $1 million. So basically what happens is that when we made the trade, all the bonuses that were left over on his contract are paid by Seattle, and we are left with paying the bonuses, right? So this is why the trade makes sense. Okay. So again, he's young, relatively young, 27 years old, could be around, could extend him if he plays well, could extend him into the future, keep him around for a couple more years. But this one is not going to break the bank. He's not going to break the bank at all. So again, solid little trade here. I'm not mad at it at all. For a team that needed some help, you didn't impact the future, right? So we talked about that on the pod on Tuesday. You didn't impact the future. You traded away a guy that wasn't going to be a part of the long-term plan, and you got a short-term piece where you need some help, but you didn't impact the rest of the future. So it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense at all. It does make sense. A lot of sense. Excuse me. So I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat. And no, I have not talked about Canales and saying the starters are going to play. I have not seen that. But it makes sense. It makes sense that they'll play a series or two. Now, we will be playing against some backups. So hopefully we don't go out there and look crazy. Because if we go out there looking crazy, it's going to be a lot of people pissed off that we're playing our starters against backups and they look mid. Okay? So I don't know about it. I don't know what's going to happen. Don't know what to expect. But I am glad that we are going to see our starters play on Saturday. I may go live for it. It depends. I got some stuff I got to do. But I may go live to check out the first couple of series. So I do like that. I do like that the fact that starters are going to play, but I hope they go out there and look solid. And hopefully Dalton is playing as well. And I haven't looked at any press conferences yet. I haven't had time to do any of that stuff. So, but yes, I did see that the starters are going to play a series or two. Hopefully that's the case. So we will see. We will see. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. So again, solid pickup. Again, if you're just tuning in, we made a trade. We traded Michael Barrett, who is our 7th round pick from this past draft. Took him to the Seahawks for a cornerback, a veteran cornerback, in Michael Jackson, who has had a decent career with the Seattle Seahawks. Still relatively young, 27, turned 28 soon. So again, I like this pickup. We needed some cornerback depth. It's not Stephon Gilmore. It's not, Xavier Howard. It's not a big name, but I think he has enough talent. 6'1", 210. He's a big cornerback, big physical cornerback going up against some of these big physical receivers in the NFC South. It makes sense. So I like this pickup. A lot. So my man Robert says, as soon as I saw the notification, I was worried that there would be a draft pick involved. Extremely relieved that was a player for player trade and a great trade. So yes, no, it was straight up player for player. That's it, player for player. No draft picks. Nothing else was involved in the trade. So I love this. And this is what's going to be going down on the Marathon Show on Tuesday. Shout out to Demetrius. He locked in. On Tuesday, this is what we're going to be doing for 16 long day. 8 to the live show. 8 in the morning into the live show. We're going to be breaking down all of the cuts. We have a cut tracker, right? We're going to talk about the waiver wire, who's available. It's going to be lit. So it's going to be fun. Marathon Tuesday. The marathon continues. Shout out to Nip. But yeah, man, it's going to be dip. It's going to be dope. Excuse me. Dope. But yeah, that's all I want to get up here. Breaking news. Shout out to Michael Jackson. If you know, you know. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, get in the comments. Make sure you hit that sub button. 25K is where we're trying to go. We can't do it without you hitting that sub button. Get ready for Marathon Tuesday. I may go live for a couple an hour or so to check out the starters on Saturday. So tune in, lock in with your boys. We lit. Let's get it. I'm out of here. Peace.